What you saying?
And good man, thank you for joining, first of all.
Come on, man. My bad, bro. I've been hectic with the weekly things, man.
Yeah, no worries, Brian. Since you got a busy lifestyle and that.
Yeah, man. Come on. What you telling me? Yo, it's
So
good to see your face, fam.
I know, man, it's been a while. It's been a while. We
Just,
actually need to catch up soon. Now
yeah,
COVID's kind of eased a little bit. We
yeah,
can
come on. We
can
do,
meet
we
each
do.
other and stuff. So first of
Yeah.
all, explain
Mhm.
to the people who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive straight into it, bro.
So I go by the name of Jamzy. I'm a rapper, hip hop artist from Leeds, and I love music. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Yeah, man. So when did you first start music? First of all, that's what I want to know because I remember you sending me a link, probably 2014 or maybe even no, it was definitely 2014 because that's when I started my channel. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, this guy's sick.
Which was it? Which video do you remember?
It was you was on like the Leeds Leeds Canal thing. No, it goes to
Oh, yo, your
Liverpool.
connection's gone from.
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You're back now. You're back now. You're back now.
Uh,
My bad. The connection went. You said I was on like and then you froze.
I think it was on the Leeds Canal, to Liverpool. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I might be wrong there, but I
Yeah.
remember it, and I was like, "Yo, this kid's sick." So,
Man.
was that your first music video, or was you doing it way before that?
So the first ever like track I'd put out, like ever, was in actually I think in year 7 or year 8. I think it was back end of year 8.
Yeah. How old
And
are you
it was
then? About 13.
man, yeah, 13, man, 13.
Jeez.
So like obviously I put it out and then like I just got Tret there in it because it was dead it was dead in it. I couldn't rap how I rap now back then. Do you get me? But
Oh,
that
progress.
was the first ever record I'd officially put out. I'd say I've been doing music like more seriously since about I'd say for 2 years. So yeah, since I turned 20, I'd say
Hmm.
that's when I started moving a lot more serious with it. After we put out If Tomorrow Never Comes as well, around that point, that was like a pivotal moment as to when like I don't know, I just kind of got more experience from the time of doing it where I thought, right, I need to move a set way with it, man. And yeah.
100%. So what was your first music video first of all? Have I seen it? Was that the first one?
I think you have MG it was a track called MGM. It
Yeah,
was
that's the
like
one. That's the one. That's the one I
yeah,
want.
yeah. It's mad, bro. So I used to be called JNA back then, man. And yeah, it's just mad to even think back to them times. You get me? But that
What
was
does
the
the A
first.
stand for? Because I know JN means obviously James
Yeah.
Nadara. So what's the A?
So the actual reason why I picked that name, yeah, was well, one, because all the letters were in my actual name, and then two, I used to do karate like when I was younger, and I used to do karate, and I got to like my brown belt and them ones, and we used to do these things which was like a sequence of moves called a kata. And
Yeah.
one day we did this thing in lesson and exercise where he picked us at random to be in like groups of 3, and we had to just create a kata. We had to contribute like 5 moves or 3 moves each,
Hmm.
and then yeah, perform the kata at the end. And then like the name of our group was JNA, and I just thought, oh yeah, like 12-year-old me was like, yo, that sounds bad boy, that bro,
Yeah,
JNA.
that's
That's
crazy. That's
so
crazy.
smooth.
It's only recently since you've changed it, really, isn't it? Like I think when
Yeah,
you took
man.
it a bit more serious, let's just say 2, 3 years ago, yeah, but you
Yeah,
were J&A for ages. You're not.
I was, man. I was. You know what it was? It was like for a long time. I just kind of stuck with it because um, it was just kind of there. I had videos out for that, and then when I went quiet for a bit. I went quiet for like I'd say 2 years max, where I just didn't put
Hmm.
anything out. I was still kind of I was here and there, the odd little freestyle on Instagram, but I didn't really put anything out. And then I really thought about like the name change, and then I mean yeah, I thought of Jamzy in it. Like I thought of
It
Jamzy, and
therefore rings better, Jamsey. It sounds way
yeah,
better.
no, I thought of that name.
Oh,
So I was playing FIFA, yeah, and on career mode, build a pro.
yeah.
Obviously, I'd have my career mode, and I just used to think my actual name was boring. I was like, oh, it's dead, man. When I get the ball passed to me on career mode and I'm my player, they say, oh, James, and I'm like, is it? Yeah. And then there was one below it, and it was Jamzy, but they pronounced it Yamzy. So I thought, yo, that sounds sick. And
Jamsey
then I
sounds
just
good.
kind of I went with it. I listened to a lot of rappers at the time that had like the name ending with a Y, and I just thought, yo, I just thought it was a max, man.
Yeah, 100%. So like, when did it get to a point where you really started taking music not serious, but more as like an art form? Because music is an art form, and lyrics, like your lyrics, you can definitely tell that you take it to that point.
Yeah.
So when was it that you started to write more poetically, I'd say?
I'd say,
Sorry to interrupt, but even that the first music video that you sent to me, even then, that's like definitely poetic. There's some bars in there.
yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, man. I guess with me, man, I've always kind of tried to do that just because of the way I used to view music. Like my blueprint was 50 Cent. So when you break it down into like the categories 50 falls under in it, or the type of categories an artist that you have to be to come up, like I'm not Wham. I'm not, it's pretty obvious when you look at me, I don't look like some big bad drug dealer and all of them ones, you know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, that was it. And they were the main lanes of rap back then. It was either you had to be some big buff Wham Don, or you just had to be a big boy gangster in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but even back then there was still the appreciation for the lyrics with it. But then as hip hop kind of developed and whatever, I kind of found my own footing, and I just kind of found my own sound and realized that, yo, I can actually just be me in it. I can be myself because I've been influenced by these other types of cultures, and I've been in obviously different environments that have affected me in a way that was different to how it would have affected them. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I always just try to like move with that. And then I'd say in terms of a visual representation of when I tried to like I'll take it a lot more serious. There's a video I've got on your channel. Do you remember when we recorded at Rick Rack? I think I was 14. I swear I was 14 or 15. Hitman was there, HYT, Hitman.
Oh yeah. In the studio.
And I did like a freestyle and he did a
Yeah.
freestyle. I can't remember the name of the sessions. It was on Ace Films, but around that point, because I was doing poetry a lot through high school, so all through high school. So bear in mind, my first track I put out ever at year 8. So from like year 9, 10, and then through year 11, I was just involved in like poetry. Like I love doing slam poetry with my school and that. And through them times, I'd say when I put out that video on your channel, the one that I was just referring to, that's when the kind of elevation really started to happen, and I started to really focus in more on, instead of trying to write like a banger or just show off and be flossy, I thought, yo, I can actually like do something that will be appreciated by people that understand the art form on a deeper level.
100%. And in school, did you do your research? Like in English, did you really take English in as a subject, or is it something that's kind of like you find separate in terms of like writing music and obviously doing English in school? Because it is two different things, but it also contributes.
I feel like I was always interested in English in it. Like I was always interested in English literature. Like the one where I think that's the one where you got to examine the poems and that in it. Yeah, like I loved poetry. I loved Shakespeare from like a young age. When I really like found out about like the rhythms and the layers to it of like when he's written it. And then obviously because I do acting as well and I was studying acting, when I realized how it can be transferred across, I just like, I don't know, man. For me, I just fucking geeked out. I guess I thought, yo, that is fucking genius. Like it literally, it still blows my mind that like someone's written something like that where it's just so easily translated if the other person has the depth and knowledge for it to be able to process it all. And I felt like a lot of the rappers I listened to back then as well did that with the stories they were telling. So then linking back to the whole English language thing, I used to love like storytelling and writing the stories and stuff. So I feel like around that time, because I was literally just listening to rap music, like all of the old albums and like the real golden era of rap, I was just heavily immersed. I immersed myself with it. I think it all just kind of came together and just kind of molded around what grew to be Jamzy is now. Do you get me?
Yeah, 100%. So I want to talk about the process, like especially in uni, because that's when you was really developing as an artist, and that's when you really started to grow and things started to really pop off. Like we did When Tomorrow Never Comes, and then you kind of went off to uni, kind of straight off the back of that. By the way, if anyone's listening, If Tomorrow Never Comes was like a massive hit for all of us, really, not even just like as the artist, for me as well. It was our
Yeah, man.
first viral video that got like over 1 million views on
Oh, man.
on Uni Sound, which were mad, and it's got like over 50,000 on YouTube, which
Yeah, man.
is one of the most viewed videos on my channel. So I want to talk about that massive leap because you was in uni, which was tough itself, but
Yeah,
also music was kind of like building up to a career level. So
yeah.
how did you manage that balance? Because I can imagine it being very hard.
So, what is in the balance of just
Just the,
maintaining
yeah,
the
just like maintaining the music and also studying because
yeah,
it is two different things. And at that point, I know you was getting a lot of messages, and you did the was it the BBC Byte sound, something like that?
yeah, yeah,
Similar
yeah.
to that.
I know what you're on about. I was like always in and out of there, especially when If Tomorrow Never Comes with Harris
Yeah,
as well. That was when Harris was getting like he got the champion artist and that. So that was when he being around him as well, definitely, because he was hollering me to like, yo, come down with me in it. Just so then, even though if it was for him, it was as a way to get me in them environments where people knew my face, knew my name, and I could kind of see what it was gonna be like when I finally got there myself. Do you get me?
yeah, yeah.
As far as maintaining it, man, it just kind of I've always kind of tried to separate them to an extent of like I know everything you have to do kind of has to tie in. So the bigger picture of it was right. I go uni, I study acting, and I just make and like my main drive is music. I wanted to study acting and really like harness and being a good actor, just because one, I love films, and
Mm.
two, I didn't like it when I'd hear a really good song from a new artist. I'd go to the music video on YouTube, and then the artist just looks awkward in the video.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too picky, or for me, it just made me like fall out of love a bit with the record, and like for me and my music and everything I do to do with music is solely from like the love of it and the feeling that I get from it. Do you get me? Like,
100%.
yeah. Um, so I guess it kind of just came from trying to keep them separate, trying to keep the balance between them, and then the main struggle I had was writing, like making sure that I was making time to write, because there'd be some times where like it's not that I didn't want to, I was just like, oh, I should really do this uni work, but instead I just want to like sit up and write songs till like stupid o'clock in the morning. Do you get me?
And you're just writing constantly because you've got uni work to do. So it's kind of like tiring, constantly writing.
Yeah, man.
So I can imagine it being tough. But I know you and Harris was both in London at the same time. So did that definitely help with just having someone there that is also a musician, but you also was like kind of best friends as well?
Yeah, 100, man. Joe, I didn't feel as lonely when Harris was there during like the first year or two, just because like it was nice in it, and like if there was ever like a music motive for either one of us, we knew that we could have someone there that had us back like that. Do you get me? So then we weren't just kind of like alone, just Leeds man in London. Do you get me? It was
Yeah,
kind of there as a collective and that, man. So
100%. And just
yeah,
like touching onto the video aspect, because we've worked closely together. Like we have a great bond, not bond. So I want to talk about how do you see music videos, because I know a lot of artists, which is frustrating at times, don't see music videos as a way for them. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't benefit them as a musician, but
yeah.
I think the music videos are just as Oh my god, I can't say the word.
It's all
Um,
right. It's all right.
it represents them just as
Yeah,
much as the music. Basically, that's what I'm trying to get at. So, do you
yeah.
kind of see that yourself? Obviously, I'm assuming you do, considering you did performing arts. But what's your take on music videos and how artists see and perceive music videos, especially up north? Because I've already expressed my thoughts on this on the podcast.
I mean, I feel like in terms of music videos now, I mean, from the way, are you wanting like just my perspective as an artist,
Yeah,
or how?
yeah.
So from my perspective as an artist on how I view music videos, is that like it's a part of this. How can I phrase it? Let me think of a way to like phrase this nicely. It's
It's
a
difficult in it to like say it in a
yeah,
polite way, but
yeah,
the way I see it is right. Me as a creator, well, we're all creators end of the day, right? But everyone's a creator in their own craft. So you're coming at me for a music video. I listen to the tune. I instantly get a connection with it. I get a vibe. I write up an
Yeah.
idea. Especially now, this is definitely the process I do now. But I have done it in the past, and it's just getting through to the artist. And then you write up the idea, you send it through, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm not really after that, and what I'm after is this." And they'll send a link from Grime Daily,
Yeah.
and it's just the exact same video you see every single time. And it's just
Yeah.
like,
I feel you.
take my advice, because I'm a music video director, and kind of get a vision from your music, and this
Yeah.
is what I feel the music is representing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the way. That's my take on it in a polite way. Just
I
let
feel like
go on.
yeah, my bad. I feel like a way to look at it for me, the best way I can describe it is how like Eminem described a record to him. Each record is like a time capsule. Do you get me? So like each record should be like a song that takes you back to an exact moment in that person's
Yeah, like
time or life, or whatever feeling that person wants you to feel when they wrote that song. However long that song duration runs for is a time capsule that you go through. So like I feel like the music video, the visual representation of that song should match that. However, people's opinions on what matches it varies, as you said in it. Like a lot of times people might have a wavy idea for a video, but they just don't want to do it, and they'll go for the basic norm that people see on every big channel, just because it's kind of like a blueprint that if you do that, you're just kind of gonna get views in it. You get a few big whips, get some rare bulldogs, get some like OnlyFans girl to shake the back in the video, and you get a few red cups, get a few man them that are wham with tattoos
So
and a
boring,
belly.
like it's so generic, and that's the thing. Like especially with selective like artists. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some tunes that do come through, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I do kind of see that vibe with that tune, blah
Yeah,
blah blah. But here's
absolutely.
what we can do to make it different. But with certain artists, and sometimes they don't know it themselves, they're like, hold on, let me backtrack a bit. With some
Yeah,
musicians, I get why they want to do that, but with an artist, because I think they're two different things. You need to look at the whole image. And
mm-hmm.
like we've talked about it previously as well. It's not even about the video; it goes with imagery as well. All matters about what you're wearing.
Yeah,
End of the day, it's who you are going to be on the internet. That's you being represented as an artist. Whatever they see is you, as well as what they're hearing as well at the same time.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot to think about, man. And the music industry is very tough. Like I give credit to any artist out there that's trying to make it, because how many sacrifices have you taken to be an artist, bro? I can only even imagine.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot, in it. Like I've been more fortunate than a lot of other people, but like it's tough, man. The main sacrifice is more so just like letting go of actual people in it, or just letting go of relationships or with individuals that like
Glad you said.
haven't understood what I'm trying to do or where I'm trying to take it. And the sooner you kind of do that, the easier it becomes, because you just kind of realize, like for me, bro, like anything in my life now, it'll take like, so obviously touch wood and everything, like fucking it takes something really, really, really significantly awfully bad for like to my family for me to get affected by anything, because I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, making records, making sure I've got a release every single week, and the world's just gonna keep spinning. And that's how I feel like a lot of artists kind of get caught up in their own head about that, because they feel like, oh my God, when I put this out, the world's going to stop and everyone's going to look. But a lot of times, like at this stage anyway, it's not like that. I'm not saying one day it won't get to that point, but when you're not at that point, it's all right to acknowledge that, and it's all right to be like, yeah, all right, I'm not at that point yet. Yeah,
I think it's a pride thing as well. That's what I realized. People
yeah,
like
for real.
have such a massive ego and a pride where it's kind of like they don't want to acknowledge reality
Yeah,
and where they're
yeah,
at, because they feel ashamed of it. They shouldn't, because it's a journey at the end of the day. Like you're not gonna, just because one tune flopped or one tune didn't perform as well as you wanted it to perform, it doesn't mean like they don't like your music, or it doesn't mean that you should stop doing music. It means that it's a process, and now you realize that reality is showing you it's not going to pop straight away. So I love the response that's the response that I wanted. Like the sacrifice was people, like
yeah.
losing friends and people that didn't understand, because it's so true.
It is, man. Even now, even through uni, like I butt heads with a lot of creative individuals who like I'll say I respect, but they might not necessarily. It might not necessarily be reciprocated. But I'm at a point where like I'm growing to the point where look, man, if you work in a creative industry, I respect you and I've got love for you. You get me?
Yeah,
But
100%.
like we might not have butt heads or disagreed over something that was per se like controversial or just like us getting off on the bad foot. It's just like they don't understand why I still want to put out songs every single week, even though I haven't hit 1 million views on that or 1 million streams, even should I say in it? Or do you know what I'm saying? Like they don't get that. And then say if they was to ask me, I go, yo, I'd do it because I genuinely love it in it. Like I love doing it. Like set songs I put out through this year, I listen to them and I get a feeling in it. I get a set feeling that I wanted to embed in the song, and for me, that's my way of feeling or bigging myself up and me basically trying to be a genius and leave my genius through my work, kind of how Shakespeare done with the plays he writes and how everything's translated across for the actors so it's easier for them to pick up. I'm just trying to do it through what I kind of feel at the time, but with these time capsules of records, you get me?
100%, 100%. And it all boils down to like who you surround yourself with. Have you noticed as you've grown, like you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people or people that are trying to get you to that place where you want to be at? Have you definitely started to, find those people?
I've been great. I've been blessed, bro. I've been really blessed and lucky in the fact that like my main like group of friends that I speak to on a daily and that I see on a daily and my mate, they're downstairs in my living room playing Warzone right now. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Like it's like I've known them from young, man. Like one of my closest friends in it. I've grown up with a guy who was the first ever friend I made in nursery in it, and with luckily with me, all the people that I've been friends with and maintained friendships with through high school, we've been able to just kind of have them conversations where you get on a level and you kind of realize that as life goes on and you see a lot of stuff that makes it hard to smile in the future. It's them relationships that help you keep strong in it and help you actually keep going. And them relationships are the ones that make you smile when stuff gets hard, times get tough even. You get me?
100%, man. Like what also motivates you? That's one thing I'm intrigued with because everyone's got a different response to this. Like, what motivates you to keep going? Because it is tough at times, and sometimes it's like you struggle to find that motivation, but there's always something in your core that's telling you to keep going. So, what is it for you that tells you that? Or what do you remind yourself?
There's a couple, man. I'd say like the simplest one is like I really, really, really want to work with 50 Cent, bro, in my lifetime. In my lifetime, innit? Like, whether it's on a movie set, whether it's like, it might not even, realistically, I want it to be musically, but if I ever, in my lifetime, can do something where I've worked with him, I can die happy, bro. Because the main reason why I started music was because of his mixtapes and how we talk about Shakespeare and that and the poetry and the like all of that stuff in the lyrics, man. 50 was like big with doing that, and I feel like a lot of people don't give him the props for that now, just because he don't really need to do that in the records he's got out now, because he's a mogul, he's a mastermind, he's smashed it in different areas, man. So
yeah, 100%.
it's just wanting to work with people that I've idolized, and especially with 50 here, just to kind of like, if I ever get to that position, just to give thanks in it, just be grateful, just to be like, give thanks. And I don't know, man. It's 2020 in it, man. There's more and more big artists dying every single year, man. And yeah, a lot of people are affected differently by artist death, man. And for me, I don't know, man. I'd lose a set flame I have within myself if, God forbid, in it, something bad was to happen and he'd pass away. Yeah. And I didn't get the opportunity to even be in the same room or network or anything like that. Do you get me?
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, and another thing is just like, because I think like that, it makes me hold everything to a higher standard of where I place myself and how I rate my own music. And because I know it's capable of going to them places and like being on them worldwide stages and selling out these arenas and stuff, because I know that and I can vision that, I'll keep chasing that. Do you get me? But like, it's the fact that I know it and it hasn't happened yet, I know that it deserves for it to get to that stage. So I want to do everything I can whilst I'm alive and well and able to work to like take it there. Do you get me?
100%, bro. You definitely got the talent, you got the personality, and you've definitely got the mindset as well, bro. So
Thank you, bro.
we'll definitely get there. We as a team,
Yeah,
can
come
help
on,
out,
come on.
man, especially with the visual side of things.
We'll get the like tour life videos going soon, yeah?
Yeah, man, that'd be sick.
Come on, family.
Private jet business.
Yeah, all right, one day.
I want to talk about performing arts, like, because that kind of shocked me a little bit when you was doing it. Is
Yeah.
that something you want to really kind of dig down a little bit into, the acting side of things, or did you purely do it for the music side, music videos?
Well, funnily enough, yeah, I used to say this to my friend. He's called Charlie, and he used to be in my acting class. Yeah, he used to always want to win an Oscar. He used to be like, yo, I want to win an Oscar one day. So I used to be like, yo, I want to win a Grammy and I want to win an Oscar. So I love performing, man, innit? And like, I don't know, it's always been embedded in me from young. It's like, if you're gonna do something, do it properly. Do you get me? So
Yeah, sick.
yeah, man. Like I know for me to live a happy life, I need to be performing on a stage, whether entertaining people and whatnot. So like, I just kind of ran with it. It was the only thing that I was really good at through school and like passed at A levels and whatnot. So I just thought, yo, I'll double down, went with it. And then I found a way how with the music and that, it made sense. I could tie it in. So it was kind of like everything was slowly like just linking. And then when I realized, oh, music videos, and then you see what Rap Man's done and all of this stuff, everything just kind of interlocked and then locked in. And I just thought, yo, this is the one. And
100%. It's
yeah,
like the whole package in it. End of the day,
yeah, man.
you know how to act, then you know how to perform, and if you know how to perform, then you know what I mean. It all kind of fits together. So it is a smart way of doing it.
For real, man. In terms of doubling down as well, man. I'd do shows and that. Like, I'd go for auditions, and if there was like a West End thing, or do you know them ones? Like, yeah, I'd straight do that for musicals and that. Come on.
Yeah, theatre, it'd be sick.
I genuinely, I've got a big appreciation for the arts on them ones, man. So I
It's
find it
it's probably harder
fascinating.
than actual being in a film, because if you slip up, you've like, it's a live act and it's a live audience. So it's like, if you mess
For
up
real.
those lines, boy. Whew.
That's true, man. That's why a lot of times the actors that are well known as like the best actors, majority of the time they're like classically trained for theatre, because it's a lot easier to go from classically trained and being used to performing in theatres to then do camera acting, then go from camera acting to then go into a theatre, because you'll be used to like being able to mess up basically.
Yeah. So what's the future plans, bro? Because I know you're putting out loads of music at the moment, which I rate a lot. Like, you're just smashing them out, which it's consistency is key, man. And like I say, we had so many deep conversations like off camera. And one thing I think we always talk about is consistency.
Yeah.
And now seeing you do it, something now you've got this time to do it as well. It's just nice to see that everything we've talked about is finally getting put into action.
Yeah, man.
So what's the future for you in terms of musically, or maybe even acting as well?
Musically, I'll break them down. So musically, for me now, when everything's like slowly starting to come back open and that, music videos, and then I want to have like kind of how I've got the records kind of there stockpiled and just firing them out. I want to have like a solid batch of music videos stockpiled, so then the ones that have a slightly bigger budget and that are just bangers, and just big things, push to get them on the big channels like Link Up, GRM or whatever, and then during the time of doing that, in order to funnel some of the traffic back, I want to put out like the other ones that I've got that are still levels in terms of visuals and that on my own channel. But I want a lot of them to be like, because I've got a lot of records that are like freestyles. Like we've done the emotionless one, and then there's like interlude that we need to get done, and all of them ones. Like I want to put like the content there. The YouTube thing for me now is probably the next big thing, getting onto them big channels just to solidify my image as Jamzy a lot more, because I feel like that's the main thing I'm missing right now. In terms of moving forward with it, like I want to try I'm trying to find people that have further knowledge. So not necessarily like managers, just people that are in further positions in the industry that can kind of give me some game or school me a bit. I'm always trying to learn in it, just in terms of like, even if it's the best way I can describe it is like an artist development thing, but like a good thing, not a thing where it's like I jump on it and it's that you can't really develop me as enough. You can't really develop me in it. Like, it's not even like I need developing. It's more in the sense of how to apply what I've got. Do you know what I'm saying?
And networking as well. If you go to
Yeah.
if you're in that space, you got these connections and things like that. I think radio is a great way of doing it. Marcus Smith, he might be a good person to talk to.
If they got Marky, man, Marky's a sick guy still.
Yeah, he's doing bits, and also like conferences, you know, like where artists go and talk, or maybe even radio presenters talk. Like, I'd love to even go to that with you myself, like, because I want to understand the music industry as much as possible for my own knowledge when it comes to music videos as well. It all does boil down to that. The more I understand about music, because it is a business as a whole, then the better I can be in terms of producing videos for that business. So yeah, man, I think that's one way. And then in terms of acting and theatre, what's kind of the route in terms of that, or is that like a new established thing that you're trying to figure out still?
I mean, yeah, man. Do you know what it is now? Like, I'm freshly graduated, so I'm now classed as a struggling actor. So like now, I have to it's so peak this pandemic, man. Like,
It is, bro. It's bad.
It is, man. Like, all of this stuff I had to do, I could have had halfway done or finished and done, but because nothing's open, I've had to wait for everything to reopen, and all of them was, man. I need to get my headshots done by like an actor's headshot geezer. I've linked one before in Manchester, and his work was like really good in that. So I need to get like a proper actor's CV done with my headshots and different looks with my hair down, up and braided, and all of them ones in it, so they can see like what they can work with and that. I need to sort out a couple of profiles and that through my university for them to help me just look for auditions and actively look for auditions. And then I need to actually look for auditions in it and actively email out, ask people around, try find things that I can apply for, get in touch with agencies if I can. And yeah.
Sick, man. Sick. I'm excited for your future more than my own.
Thank you, man. I'm a bit nervous, man. I won't even lie. I'm trying to like hold it down, but it's nerve wracking, man. Fresh out of uni and that, back at home. Like,
it's also good though, 'cause the amount of development you're gonna get from it, like as a human being, you just learn how to work with what you got and how to like push yourself more than you've ever even known you could. Obviously, uni does that, but with the real world, it's two different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's gonna be a journey, and I'm here for it, bro. I'm here for it.
Love my G. Come on.
I think that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about. Is there anything you want to touch up on before we finish, and then we'll sign off?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's just been perfect. It's been nice to chat to you, isn't it, man? I feel like I had seen you or spoke to someone else in time, man.
Bro, it's been so long. But yeah, we'll definitely have to meet up, bro, and just general chat, just like we always do anyway. Just like meet up.
Need to go for Nando's or something again, man.
Yeah, man, it's reopened, isn't it?
Has it?
Well, restaurants have reopened. I don't know if Nando's has. I'm assuming it has, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. I went to the one in White Rose the other day, and it was just takeout only, and it delivery only. So
takeout shit as well, isn't
it? Yeah, man.
Anyway, bro, appreciate your time, honestly. Thank you so much.
Big love, my G.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch. So take it easy, bro.
All right, love, family.
Stay safe.
Safe.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.